This is the part where I need some like theme music. Actually, I have some default music on here. Sounds like I don't have the monitor piece yet. So all still a work in progress. So much fun. TV's playing this out. What is up, nerds? It's me, your friend, your pal, HeyArcher. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, of course, hit the thumbs up down below. Helps this channel grow. Or the music down. I think it's still playing. If you're new here, like, comment, and subscribe. Down below in the chat, or actually if you're watching this live, over on the side, there's a live chat. I think I'm pointing the right direction. That would be right. There's a live chat option there, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in there. You can talk amongst yourselves, do all that kind of good stuff. But here on HeyArcher, I do all things nerdy, but most importantly, in the HeyArcher Live series, I want to help you guys do stuff nerdy and share it with the world, share it with the community. And, of course, this chat is not limited to only YouTube 101 type questions or content creation questions. It can be whatever you want. So some of you have submitted questions already this week. Head over to HeyArcher on IG, Facebook, Twitter. You always leave questions there. And usually 24 hours in advance in my Instagram story, I have a box where you can submit questions. So fun episode coming up. Of course, let me know in the comments if you can hear me and if everything sounds good. Because, again, I don't have any kind of monitor. But if you are a veteran of the channel, of course, you recognize... I botched that word. You recognize that the camera quality is different, which is fantastic. And you're not looking at me on just a webcam. So major change as far as quality goes. On the table here, I got the Rodecaster Pro, which there's a video unboxing of that on my channel. And I think the Stream Deck also was not here last time, where I can easily just switch scenes, and we'll have examples of that for sure. But we'll cut right into some questions and, of course, my new find of the day. So on right now, of course, I'll knock out the obvious thing, camera quality difference. I did not buy a webcam. In fact, currently I'm using a webcam that you and I currently both have, and that is my cell phone. And I ended up finding an app that lets you use your cell phone as a web camera to talk to your computer, which is phenomenal. So let me pull up here. And of course, we have to switch our scenes. And that is my cell phone. And I ended up finding an app that lets you use your cell phone as a web camera to talk to your computer, which is phenomenal.
I can change that.
So let me pull up here. And of course, we have to switch our scenes. And that is my cell phone. And I ended up finding an app that lets you use your cell phone as a web camera to talk to your computer.
At the moment,
is phenomenal.
I have up my Stream Deck, and I have up. No, you can't see that at all.
And of course, we have to switch our scenes. And that is my cell phone. And I ended up finding an app that lets you use your cell phone as a web camera to talk to your computer.
At the moment,
is phenomenal.
For some reason, I have letting me change the camera view. No, you can't see that at all.
And of course, I will work on that.
So at the moment, you're looking at Ecam Live, and Ecam Live ties into YouTube and Zoom to give you a full readout of what is happening in the chat section, but also what everybody's seeing at home.
I will work on
So
that.
on the left here, you see a bunch of overlays. So at the moment, for example, you're looking at Ecam Live. The HeyArcher one, HeyArcher.com ties into
toggle that on and off.
YouTube. So actually, using my Stream Deck Zoom to give you a full readout of, and then what I could even drag
in
it
the chat
around
section
if I wanted to, but also what
any different part.
at home. So let me make sure.
I will work
so
on that.
on the left here, you see a bunch of overlays. So at the moment, for example, you're looking at Ecam Live. The HeyArcher one, HeyArcher.com ties into
toggle that on and off.
YouTube. So actually, using my Stream Deck Zoom to give you a full readout of, and then what I could even drag
in
it
the chat
around
section
if I wanted to, but also what any different part at home. So let me make sure.
I will work
so
on that.
on the left here, you see a bunch of overlays. So at the moment, for example, you're looking at Ecam Live. Right now you have ties into
toggle that on and off.
YouTube. So actually, using my Stream Deck Zoom to Ecam Live up, and then what I could, you know what it is? There's actually, I have a lot of screens going on to show what you guys are seeing, so that's why I was kind of getting a little confused. So on the left here, you see a bunch of overlays. In Ecam Live, here are the overlays. So you can actually, you have in your video that you're doing or your stream, you can have it say whatever you want. So in this case, it's saying YouTube. Sorry,
you know
it's
what it is?
There's actually, I have a lot of screens going on to show what you guys are seeing. Sean, so that's why I was kind of getting a little confused. Sarah with friends. So how to even use it for their show, pick a side, which you can actually see watching in your video, and you can also make it so that certain overlays only appear saying in certain viewpoints. Sorry, so right now I have actually web viewpoints showing, or sorry, on the app viewpoint to show you what that's why I was currently looking at Sarah with friends. But you can also how to even use it for their show, pick a side, so you can actually see watching in, and you can also make it so that certain overlays only appear saying in certain viewpoints. Sorry, so right now I have actually web enough it's still echoing now. Or sorry, realized on the app viewpoint to show you what that's why I was currently looking at. Sarah,
Thank you, Mike.
But you can also how to even use it for their show, pick a side, so you can actually.
Thanks, guys. I did not know it was doing that.
And you can also make it so that certain
should be better now.
only appear
as far as that
in
goes.
certain viewpoints. Sorry, so right now I have actually
Web enough it's still echoing now. Thumbs up.
Sorry, realized on the app viewpoint to show you what that's why I was currently
in the comments.
I'm
going to assume it's better right now.
You can also how to even
Or is it still echoing? It's like several videos are playing at the same time. How about now? Still having an echo? All right. So try it now. See if it's still echoing. Let me know in the comments. I'm just reading the comments as we go. You're saying, nope, it's still going on. Let's see. Okay, better. Now it's good. All right. Sorry. So in Ecam, actually, let's go back to that. You have, let me turn that off. Thanks, guys. So here, there's actually a sound levels part. So right now, I have everything coming through the Rodecaster, but it turns out just now, I also had the system notifications and the microphone for the system playing. So you actually may have been hearing the YouTube video playing through there. So thank you all for that. So the other thing that I have tied into Ecam Live of the three that we're over is the Stream Deck. So let's see if I can show that at all. All right. So the Stream Deck, that's going to actually have the quick keys to change things, to play sounds, to toggle on and off, you know, the overlays like HeyArcher.com, that kind of thing. So it kind of just makes things a little bit easier from a point and click perspective. But the one that I wanted to show you guys to use your webcam, or sorry, use your phone as a webcam, is Ecam. So right now, using Ecam, there's two versions. There's a free version, and then there's an HD version. And with the free version, you can actually, let me see if I can go back to the main. Pricing sheet. not show. Oh yeah. So when you're looking at it, it will actually, like I said, tie into your phone, so your phone becomes your webcam. And when you actually pay for it, it's about $7 a month. You can do it wirelessly. So on the free version, you'll be able to, again, plug your phone in. It'll be 720p, and you'll just use it as is. But if you do decide that you want to stream in HD, that's where you're going to be able to upgrade for $7, and your phone will be shooting in 1080p if your phone actually allows you to do that. But it's actually bugging the living daylights out of me that I'm using the webcam right now. So let me see in real time, actually. Let's see if we can change it together. So, get rid of my overlay. There's your comments that you guys will see there on the side. And I just don't think it's going to show you the camera view that I'm on right now. So that's the app that we're on. How do you change? It won't let me change it. Poop. Oh, you know what? I think that's what it is. The app turned off. All right, let me turn that back on. See, we're learning trial and error here. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so now let's try that again. We're in iPhone camera view. It looks like I'm frozen. No, it's working. Now it's back. So we're already finding issues with the app itself. For some reason, it just shut off, and I'm not sure why. So we'll leave that there. And now let's try changing to the app view. Go back to iPhone view. There. That's weird. For some reason, when I go picture in picture, oh, learning together. All right. So when you're using this app, the Epoch Cam, it is an app. So when you switch over in Ecam Live to show an app on screen, it disconnects from that app. I can look up there now, actually. It disconnects from that app, and the camera's a little crooked, so I'll change that. But it actually disconnects the app, so that's why it all of a sudden just disappeared. But let's go back to web page view. Oh, it did it again. Next. Ooh, Epoch, you are not winning right now. Could also be my phone. See, we're learning bugs in the system. All right, let's see. So it shows that I'm back. But the epoch. All right. So this is good. You guys are learning with me at the same time as to what the bugs may be in this app. And it's doing it again. I don't know why. Yep. All right. Well, that failed. That absolutely failed. I feel like this app disconnects when you jump through apps. So we will hold off on that one for now. So we now have an app that has, I'll switch the mic over so you can see me. So we now have an app that has potential if it could just work. So I'll read through kind of the App Store reviews to see if people found a way to fix that bug where it just disconnects from Ecam. Because that was very weird. I even opened up the Epoch Viewer app and it has not corrected it. So we will learn together. That's what I love about this series. All right. So that was Ecam. That was Epoch. And then, of course, that was our demo of Ecam Live. So in a perfect world, all of these together will kind of help you have a better overall streaming process. Of course, having a dedicated camera plugged into your computer might still be the number one way to stream everything and have yourself on camera. But by using Ecam Live, that's where you can kind of tie it all together, manage the whole thing. And if you want to have, certain pop-ups come up and down, then you can see that. The Ecam Live does have a free price point. So we'll go to that. I feel like I'm doing a lecture here. Or that I'm selling you guys something. I make no money on any of this, FYI. So if you're using Ecam, there's a free trial for $14. And then you can always pay annually for it or pay monthly. Of course, annual will be cheaper. There's a $12 a month and a $20 a month. If you do want to connect Ecam to something like Zoom, which will be helpful, like if you're trying to like demonstrate something and have people like communicate with you like on camera, you would need the pro version because it has this option called the virtual webcam. And the virtual webcam is what lets something like Zoom look at Ecam for the camera versus your actual built-in camera. So I would say, if anything, if you were to get one thing out of everything I've shown you so far, do Ecam Live or just Ecam. And we'll wait for me to mess around with this Epoch for a while and see if it fixes. The Stream Deck, though, you don't really need that. It makes things easier, but it's not necessary. The Stream Deck, I do have a video of me unboxing that. It's the Elgato Sream Deck. So a lot has happened in the last 15 minutes. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section so I can see it. I will have to give myself...
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth!
The old
Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
Tell me if you guys actually heard that or not. It was terrible. Anyway, let's go to the next question that we had submitted. And we actually had a lot of questions this week. Make sure that's good. All right. So, somebody had asked a question about choosing what kind of content to make, and is it better to kind of go into just one type of content, or kind of spread it out, niche market, if you would. So that is a tricky question. When starting to make your own content, I mean, I'm kind of a walking example of somebody who doesn't do just one kind. I try to do, this kind of goes to a previous question, I kind of try to do a wide array of topics that all kind of narrow into nerd-related topics. Something I could relate it to is, if you guys remember Tech TV or G4 TV, it was kind of like different segments to different things, but they all were, they all talk to one audience. So with my content, I try to do that. Now, as far as you making your content, you can actually narrow down, if you choose to a specific genre of something. But what I would not do is I wouldn't necessarily limit yourself to one specific topic, if that makes sense. Actually, I'll give you an example. There was a lot of YouTubers who got very popular in the last couple of years for talking about The Last Jedi. And The Last Jedi, of course, was, you can argue how good or bad it was in the Star Wars universe. That's not the whole point of this. But with The Last Jedi and the hate around it, people got really into talking about it, really into making videos about it. And that is what that's what they made their fame on. So now that the last Star Wars movies come out, now that Star Wars kind of doesn't have anything aside from The Mandalorian in wide popularity, they have nothing to talk about. And now their channels are kind of starting to dip because you can only talk about how much a 4 or 5-year-old movie sucks for so long before you got to come up with something new. So a perfect example, actually, of somebody who's pivoted on that is Star Wars Theory. And if you check out his channel, it's all Star Wars. And originally, when he started the channel, it was strictly Star Wars Theory. He would talk about things that happened in the movies, in the books, and say, all right, well, what if it happened this other way? And then, of course, as the movies came back, he kind of rode that wave. But what he did simultaneously is, as he was on that uprise of content, is he decided, all right, this Star Wars page is doing its thing. It's doing well. I'm going to leave that as it is, but there's other things I want to talk about. I'm going to jump over and make another channel. And I think he has I think he actually might have let's look it up, actually, so I don't talk out of turn. Thanks for all 4 of you who are watching. And if you have not left a thumbs up, please do so. Helps the channel. So go to Star Wars Theory. He might have it under his About. He does not. Channels. There you go. So he's actually said, all right, I'm going to take this fan base of 2.3 million viewers and say, maybe there's a chance they want to watch other content. And instead of funneling all of that into Star Wars, he just made different channels. And now he can grow the fan base that he has and take them into other arenas, if you would. So to answer the question, I wouldn't do just the one topic unless you plan on doing other channels for other topics, or if you just want to do kind of an all-encompassing channel. Because like I said, he's one that has done it right. I mean, check that out. It's Cobra Kai Theory channel. Just talking about Cobra Kai, almost 45,000 subscribers. Harry Potter, almost 53,000 subscribers. So you just kind of got to pivot with where everybody's going. So maybe start with one, but do try to figure out something else to talk about aside from just the one. Unless you're strictly doing podcasting. Because if you're strictly doing podcasting, just, you can just do the one channel and you're just rambling kind of like I'm doing now, every single episode. So no need to, you should not just say one thing, that's it. Especially if it's something you don't create. That's the other part of it. If you're if the main point of your content is talking about something another company makes or another person makes, and if that person or company stops making the content, now you're out of content. So that's why you need to have something else in the bag. So that's a great question. Another one. Who are your inspirations? That's a fun one. So that actually, I'll steal some of my answer from last week's question that Aaron left, which was something along the lines of, do I want to be like Joe Rogan or not? Or like, who's a podcast inspiration? So yeah, inspiration-wise, I guess in life, I guess generic answer would be my parents. Like my mom is big inspiration. But aside from that, if we're going to talk about content creation and all of that, yeah, it's definitely going to be, I think Joe Rogan's always going to be the number one inspiration. Even if I don't agree with everything he says, the fact that, you know, he made an entire genre just kind of BSing with his friends. He's gotten so many people put on the map just by being on his show. So if I was to pick an inspiration from a content creation avenue, it'd be, I think, Joe Rogan. And then the other part of that was for aspirations. Oh, you know, and I just realized something. Going forward, I can take these questions and make the overlays to show you guys what the question is. I didn't even think about that until just now. Again, learning together. Where do I want to go with it was the other part of the question. And I don't have a end goal necessarily, because I just want this to be fun most of all. And a lot of times I think if you become one of those people who you're like, all right, I'm just going to drop everything else and do this one hobby full time, you could easily run into that issue of now it's too much work because it's work and you may not enjoy it. So I'm not going to put a end goal aside from, like, I think highlights, which is the way I worded it before. If you go on my Instagram, and that's, you know, of course, to be on Joe Rogan and to make enough money off this channel to buy a burrito. So I set the bar pretty low. Although burritos are very, very important. Somebody asked, why did I choose Ecam over OBS? Another great question. So just to, because I don't want the computer to freak out. Maybe I can, like, pull up screenshots of OBS here. Random picture. I have no idea who this person is. And now it's going to Tech Advisor. Now it's pulling up ads. All I wanted to do was see the picture. Anyway, as you can see in this picture here, this person is playing a game and they're doing I didn't even switch over to you guys. I'm sorry. All right. There you go. So, in this image here, somebody's doing a picture-in-picture, kind of like what I'm doing. OBS does the same thing. OBS is a stream service that allows you to stream for free online. So in a way, you could say that's better than Ecam Live because it's free. And OBS also works on Windows and Mac, where Ecam Live currently is only on Mac. The reason I chose Ecam Live over OBS was actually because of the chat feature and the ability to tie into other apps. So right now, instead of me having to, like, have YouTube open and read through the comments as I'm talking, in Ecam Live, I can interact with you guys in the chat through the app instead of having to go around. I can also take your comments, and let's say I switched over to the app option. Let's get rid of that. All right. So actually right now, you probably will see the entire view, see the comments, and then let's say I wanted to highlight. Oh, it actually doesn't show. Interesting. If I wanted to highlight a comment, I can hit add to broadcast, and then it shows up on the screen. So little things like that do not appear in OBS. OBS is strictly one-way communication. And my suggestion, if you're trying to grow content, is actually to have interactions with everybody who you are trying to bring into your community. Because really that's all this is. It's community building. So the reason I chose OBS was primarily the comment section option over, I'm sorry, the reason I chose Ecam Live is the comment section option over OBS. So I hope that answers that question. Community. All right. Let me make sure I got all of them. Thanks again for being here, guys, and thanks for dealing with all of the technical difficulties. I really wish that camera would have worked because it started out so well. That's it on those questions. All right. I'm going to try getting the camera to work one more time and see where it's messing up. And then maybe on the next episode, it'll get better. So I'll be right back. All right, so we're back on the cell phone camera. So at the moment, this is how it should have been the entire time, but it was not. So I apologize for that. Nothing here seems to be crashing or conflicting. So I have no idea why the phone option failed. Let's try switching cameras one more time. Maybe that's what does it. So if I do swap and then swap and then go back, so it's working there. For some reason it does not allow. All right, so I'll play around with this app some more. I think there's a lot of potential in this app for sure. I just don't know why it's being so buggy like that. Right now you guys are in the app view, and you could see all the options, but yeah, it's not allowing me to change the camera. So we will work on that. But otherwise, this was a fun episode. The camera's crooked again. We'll work on it. We'll work on it together. We'll grow together. And I got another person just right. Shout out for saying the Linkin Park was the New Yorker's intro into metal music, because that is true. If you are from the tri-state area and you love metal and you love rap music, Linkin Park is to blame. If not Linkin Park, it was most likely Limp Bizkit, which is unfortunate. But it got you there in the end, and that's what matters. I did not intend to do that. But Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to do a video on this Epoch Cam, and I'm going to mess around with it to see why it's crashing and all of that. But I think the potential is huge there. So that way, instead of you spending hundreds of dollars potentially on a webcam to do your own live streaming, you can use your cell phone and have it work just fine. So I'll play around the app. I'll do a video on that. I also realize that my head's getting cut off in the video. So, oh no, it's not. So many screens open at this one point. But thanks for being here. Like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you liked all the chaos of this episode. At some point, I'll have a button I can hit, and it'll play the outro music. But in the meantime, I'll see all you nerds in the next video. Peace. And I didn't know what sign to just throw up just now. So peace, or whatever. Whatever you want. Throw whatever sign you want at the screen. I don't care. End of broadcast.